that again. Hey, crafters, crocheters, knitters, and yarn enthusiasts. Today is Sunday, December 4th, 2022. I have 3 projects for you today. I have a baby blanket, and a pile of squares, okay? They were all made in 2015. And yeah, that's it. They were all made in 2015. Because if you've been around for a while, you know I'm trying to do everything chronologically from the oldest project that I have in the house to the newest project that I have in the house. So, hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. It's a channel where I am going through everything crochet related, from my projects to my yarn stash to hooks, books, patterns, anything crochet related and yarn related. And I am cleaning it, organizing it, purging it. So that's what I'm doing. Hi. All right, so I'm gonna turn you guys around. I'm gonna show you the first baby blanket. I've got it hanging up on the shelf. You'll have to bear with me and the sunlight today. It is not cooperating. This is a baby blanket, and it is a granny square. Okay. It is done with a variegated yarn that has specks of green, blue, and creamy white, and then it had solid blocks of brown, and then I added in solid blocks of creamy white, a different brown, and then back to the variegated, and then I put a blue border on it with a scalloped edge. Okay, there is baby blanket number 1. There's baby blanket number 2. Now, the camera just does not do those colors justice, okay? It looks way better in person. So this is variegated. It is soft white with a pink and then with a brown. Makes it look like ice cream, like strawberry vanilla chocolate ice cream. And then I did a solid block of brown, and then the variegated. And then I did some of the soft white, and then I did pink on the border with another scalloped edge. But you can see this one came out a bit smaller than the blue one, because it's 2 different kinds of yarns. But anyway. And my third project. Corner to corner squares. And I think I'm going to have to go close the curtains. Okay, so am I in frame? I hope so. You guys have kids that borrow your clothes, borrow your shoes, borrow your car, right? My kids don't do that. My clothes are too big, my shoes are too big, and they don't have a driver's license, but they do borrow my camera equipment, from my ring light to my tripod. So I have to make do with what I've got in the living room today. So I am fighting the lighting. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, so you're not here for my problems, right? We're here for blanket projects. This granny square blanket, it is made with a number 3 light yarn, okay? So, which means it's thin, but it is so soft, and it is so adorable in person. The camera, you know, cameras just do not pick up variegated colors very well, okay? It's just the way it is, right? I do not remember the yarn company. It is either Lime Brand in one of their baby yarns, or Bernat in one of their baby yarns. I honestly, it's been since 2015, so it's been 7 years. I don't remember the yarn company, and I haven't been able to find labels or notes on it, and I wouldn't need notes because it's a granny square. So I don't even know how big this one is. Let's see. I'd say about 48 inches square. And how do I know that? Because I'm only 5'2". So, and I can tell you that hook size, I would have used a small hook because it feels very dainty. Probably an E or an F. It's my favorite hook to use when I'm working with thin baby yarn. But the colors on this are really pretty. So it's that soft white, and it's got blue speckled throughout, and it's got green speckled throughout. And then it moved into a brown, and then it went right back to the white with the blue, the white with the green, and then back into brown. Okay, so this brown that I have here, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds of brown. It's a different company, and it's a different shade, but it was close enough to the brown in the variegated. And then the blue, I went bold with the blue because it does not match. The blue in the blanket is very, very pale. Very pale. I went for a bold colonial shade of blue for the border. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds. And then the 8th round is scallops. And what I did was, for the border, I did a shell here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets for the shell. And then I would do a single crochet in this granny cluster, and then I would do a granny cluster, and then a single crochet, and then another 5 double crochet shell. Gives it a nice scalloped edge. I like that. So this baby blanket is completely done. There is nothing that needs to be done to it, and it's just a traditional granny square pattern. Okay, all I did was just change colors and then did a little border on it. Okay, so there is nothing that I need to do to this one. I do not need to sew in any yarn tails. I don't need to do any crocheting. Just need to measure it and come up with a listing for it so I can sell it. So baby blanket number 1 in these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Isn't that pretty? I love making baby blankets with granny squares, or as a big granny square. So there we go. This is what it looks like with the border, right? Okay, that is awesome. I love it. Now this one. Seriously, it does not show up well on camera. It is the soft white, and it goes into pink, and then it goes into soft white, and then it goes into a chocolate brown. Here in the United States, you can buy a gallon of ice cream that has strawberry, which is pink, vanilla, which is a soft white color, and chocolate, which is the brown color. And that's what this yarn looks like. It looks like our ice cream that is chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. So that's what the color is in the middle. That's what all this is to start the square. And then when I had reached the end of the ball of yarn, I had switched over to what I think is a very complementary shade of brown. See if I can. There's 1, 2, 3 rows or 3 rounds of the brown. And I think it... So how do you like that? My camera shut off in mid-sentence. So, I was talking about the brown, I think. I had dead batteries. Alright, so I had 2 balls of the variegated color to begin with. Okay, so that first ball of yarn gave me a lot of rounds for a granny square. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 rounds. But, you know, as you go along, your granny square gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so it takes more yarn to get through a round. So my second ball only gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And then when I was done with that, I found a soft white in another company and added some soft white. And then a very complimentary shade of pink, which I think is so, almost so close. I think my pink's a little bit lighter. So for the scalloped border on this one, I still did shells, and I think it's still 5 double crochets. Yep, I still did 5 double crochets, a single crochet here in the granny cluster, and then 5 double crochets. I just didn't, I did it a little differently than the blue one. But either way, putting a scalloped border on a granny square is, I think it always comes out beautiful. So let's see, size on this one, I'd say 3 feet 36 inches square, maybe. So the yarn on this one is, it's a number 4 medium weight. And the yarn company is Loops and Threads, which is from Michael's the craft store. And I would have used an H hook or a 5mm. So yeah, number 4 medium, Loops and Threads, impeccable. And this pink here is Vanna's Choice from Lion Brand. So there you go. Baby blanket number 2, made in 2015. I don't need to do anything else to it. There's no yarn tails. There's no more crocheting to do. It's completely done. I just don't have the yarn labels, and I don't have any notes because it's been 7 years. So just like the blue and the brown baby blanket, there's another one. It's all done, and it just needs a home. And I ran out of babies to give blankets to, so you know, I have a lot of baby blankets, but no more babies in the family to give blankets to. Alright, yeah, now let's go on to my favorite thing, okay, and that is all these squares sitting behind me. Okay? These squares are all different yarn companies, all different brands. There is Red Heart Super Saver in here. There is Bernat Super Value in here. There is Vanna's Choice in here. There is Pearl Essence Sincerely, which was sold at Joann's long time ago, the fabric store. Trying to think if there was any other yarn companies. They're all number 4 medium weight. They're all made with an H, a size H crochet hook, which is the 5mm. And what I would do is when I had a random ball of yarn that looked like it was big enough to make a square, I made a square. And look how many is in this pile. Let's see. Purple, purple, pink. You see a theme. I love my purples and my pinks. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 in this pile. Oh, isn't that floppy goodness? Oh, I love that. Okay, some greens and yellows in this one. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That brings my pile up to 23. Lots of blues in this one. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 squares. Ah, there's a making of a beautiful blanket in there. Let's see if I can get them all up. What do you guys think? Think I can put them all together in one blanket? Or should I make multiple blankets? Yeah, I don't know. Let's just throw them up wherever they land on the floor. We'll put them together in a blanket. Details! I know, I hear you. You want details on them. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by how pretty they all look together. Every time I take this pile out, I always rearrange them and I put them in a different order, and then I take it out again and rearrange them, put them in a different order. And every time I fall in love with it because this is wonderful. We should all have squares like this in our pile of projects, in our stash. We should all have a pile of squares like this. All right. They are corner to corner squares. Now, you guys remember, corner to corner is a method and a technique. It is not a stitch, because it can be done with single crochets, half double crochets, double crochets. It can be done with a V-stitch. It can be done with a granny. It can be done with the linen stitch. So, corner to corner is not a stitch. It is a technique and a method. So there we go. I'm off my soapbox. So, started down in this corner, and let's see how many rows I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10's my number. I get up to row number 10 because all you do is you increase. You do one block, then you do 2, 3, 4, until you get to a row that has 10 blocks across, right? And then the next row, you do 9, and then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you do 10 rows of increasing, and then on the other side of that 10th row, you decrease, and you get yourself a nice little square. Okay? Someday I will do a tutorial to show you how to do corner to corner. But remember, I'm not doing tutorials yet because I'm working through my own stash and my own project pile. But give me some time and I will show you guys how to do all of this, okay? So there's a dark blue one. There's a fuchsia pink kind of color. I've got multiple shades of yellow, from really light yellow to a warm orangish ducky yellow. Right? We got some pretty shades of blue. Some purple. I've got one random orange one. I love the orange one. Some more blue. That's same color as that one. This is half red, half pink, and that should be coming up really bright on the camera, right? Now the blue one, I must have had a lot of leftover blue. Or maybe it wasn't leftover and I just used a whole ball of it. Some ducky yellow. Some seafoam green. Whoa, that's pretty, right? Some more pale purple. Some more ducky yellow. And because you see the difference in my yellows? This is a warm orange based yellow, so I call it ducky yellow. And then this lighter shade of yellow, right? Different shade of blue this time. Some minty green. Some grassy green. Soft white. Oh, how about this blue right here? Oh, I love this color. Ooh, that's a pretty shade of blue. And some more pink. Some more pink. My only shade of pink. And then look, we do the pale purple. And then check out this purple, right? And we put those together. Don't they look nice together? And then add in this shade of pink here. That's pretty. I like that. Those four together. Let's see, there's some more purple. Some more pink. Wow, here we go. Another shade of pink. Yeah, I'm really liking the look of that one. Possibilities are endless. And all you need is just some leftovers. Okay, so I was stumped for a while. I couldn't figure out if I wanted to add a border on these, okay? And then stitch them all together after I had done a border. Or I could stitch them all together with them being naked, right? I wasn't sure which way I wanted to go. That's why they've been sitting since 2015. So I'm finally ready to get off my butt and figure something out and put them all together because they're so pretty. But, so since I was trying to figure it out, I actually have a handful here where I did put a border on them. I used a medium shade of gray, and I did half double crochets around. Those are not singles, those are half doubles. So here we go. This is a corner to corner square with a half double crochet as a border. And I thought maybe that's the way I wanted to go, because the gray looks really good with that purple and with the shade of blue with this teal. But it turns out the gray didn't work for all the colors. It didn't look right next to the yellow. And this one shade of green, I got green in here. So it did alright with the pink. And with this pink. But you see this, my lime green with the gray, it doesn't work. It does not work for me. I think white would be better. But I think it worked well with the red. So then I got stuck again because I realized that the gray would work with some colors but not with all colors. So I have a pile of squares that I need to figure out what to do with them and how to put them together. But I love having the pile of squares. They make me stupid happy. I love working with squares. I love working with scraps and leftovers. So here is a light gray with the medium gray for the border. This one didn't quite work out either, I don't think. So that's what happens. That's, you know, that's how I get stuck on projects. Trying to figure out, like, I had an idea in my head, but it wasn't a fully formed idea. And I just couldn't go any further, and I got completely stuck. And I didn't have anybody to talk to about it and bounce any ideas off of them and come up with a plan. That's what you guys are for. You guys got to help me come up with a plan for my corner to corner squares. Got to put them together and make a blanket out of them. Because I got to tell you, they are so soft and they are so squishy. Some of it is because that's how the yarn is. But I think it's just also the way they work up in the pattern. So alright, so the minty green, the yellow, the pink, do they go well together? I don't know. I think that yellow's too warm for the minty green and the pink. I think it needs a paler shade of yellow. But these pinks right here with the purples, they're so cute together. So what I'm going to do with these is I have a spot where I am putting these piles of squares, whether they are the traditional granny squares that I started out with, or my granny squares from last week that are part traditional and part solid. Anything that is just a square that hasn't been what? I'm looking for the right word and the right phrase. All right. Give me a minute so I can figure out where I was going with that thought. I'll be right back. Okay. I have no idea where I was going with that thought. I'm so scrunched in here today. This pile of squares is as big as my mini tripod. But seriously, I love this pile of squares. I really do. So as I'm going through my projects and I come across a pile of squares, I am putting them off to the side in a cabinet that I have, a glass-fronted cabinet, so I can see what's in there. I'm putting the squares in there, whether they are from my patchwork blanket, whether they are traditional granny squares, my hybrid granny squares, my corner to corner. I'm putting them in the cabinet because they're not blankets and they're not finished. Finished as a square, but not in a finished blanket and what I'm doing with it. So I'm putting them all off to the side. I am putting labels on them. I will put a note on this. It says 2015. I had an idea. That idea didn't work. Let's find another idea. And then when I'm done going through all of my official blankets, I will go back to anything that is a square and start working through them and making them into blankets. Because I just don't have the time right now to figure out what I want to do with them because it takes so long to figure it out. I just don't have time for that. But I do have time to go through the official blankets and that are done, almost done. I know this video is all over the place today. I know. I'm a bit hyper today and I'm a bit unfocused today. So this is 2015. This project pile. I have another blanket from 2015 that I made. It was a crochet along. But any crochet alongs that I started, because 2015 was my first year doing a crochet along, and then I did one in 2016, one in 2017. I'm going to do them as a separate video because I can't actually give you the patterns. I can just point you in the right direction. And actually, I have my list of all the blankets I did in 2015. And I've actually done videos on most of them already. My pastel ripple, I did a video on that. The rainbow stripe that I did from Hirschner's 2-ply Afghan yarn, I did a video on that. My Karen Simply Soft sampler blanket, I did a video on that. Pink peony ripple, I did because pink peony was a color that was in the middle of that blanket. That's what I called it. And then I did a blanket that's white with stripes with Hirschner's 2-ply. So all I had left was the blue and brown granny square, the pink and brown granny square, and my pile of squares here. And that finishes up 2015. So, I mean, we're making progress. I'm making progress, but I'm also working really hard to make this progress. So, I hope this video finds you guys happy, healthy, and stress-free at this time of year. I will see you guys on Wednesday for what's in the yarn bins. And don't forget, I was filming those videos in advance. So this video is weeks old and you guys will see it this Wednesday. So I think that's it for today. I will catch you guys later. Okay? Bye.